The Last House on Hollowridge Lane. Halloween Horror Story. Halloween had always been loud on Hollowridge Lane. Children darted between houses with plastic buckets shaped like pumpkins, laughing as they collected candy from excited neighbors. Decorative lights blinked orange, purple, and green. Fog machines hissed from porches, carved pumpkins glowed, and costumed kids screamed at every random jump scare. But at the far end of the lane past the cheerful decorations and bright homes stood a place that no one visited, a crumbling, vine-covered Victorian mansion known only as Blackthorn House. Everyone knew the story. Everyone avoided the house. Everyone except 4 curious college students. Their names were Ethan, Grace, Liam, and Olivia. 1. The Dare. The night air was cold as the group made their way toward the tall, rusted gates of Blackthorn House. Their flashlights cut thin beams through the creeping mist that had begun rolling in from the woods behind the mansion. "I can't believe we're doing this," Grace muttered, pulling her jacket tighter around her. She had dressed as a witch for the party they'd left behind, but now the costume felt flimsy and ridiculous. "Come on," Ethan grinned, pushing the gate lightly. It groaned open as if it had been waiting. "It's Halloween! What's the point if we don't explore the creepiest house in town?" Liam, dressed as a vampire, adjusted his plastic fangs nervously. "There's a difference between fun creepy and cursed creepy." Olivia rolled her eyes and brushed her long hair behind her ear. "Oh, please. This place is just old, not haunted." But even she didn't sound convinced. According to the locals, Blackthorn House once belonged to Dr. Eleanor Harrow, a brilliant but reclusive surgeon who became obsessed with curing death. When she died under mysterious circumstances, the townspeople believed her spirit never left the house. Over the years, rumors grew, voices heard through boarded windows, shadows moving behind cracked walls, and on Halloween night, glowing pumpkins appearing on the porch, even though no one lived there. Tonight was no different. A single jack-o'-lantern sat on the steps, its carved face smiling wide, its flame flickering unnaturally bright. "Okay, that was not here earlier," Liam whispered. "Maybe someone else came before us?" Olivia suggested. But her voice trembled. 2. The entrance. The wooden door of the mansion loomed before them, towering and cracked. Without anyone touching it, it swung open slowly, with a long, painful creak. Grace stepped back immediately. "Guys, that wasn't the wind." Ethan's heart pounded, but excitement pushed him forward. "If someone's messing with us, I want to see who." They entered. The smell hit them first. Dust, mold, and something metallic, like dried blood. The entrance hall was wide, with a grand staircase leading upward. Cobwebs draped every corner, and portraits of pale, stern-faced people lined the walls. Their eyes seemed to follow the group as they passed. Olivia lifted her flashlight toward a particularly cracked portrait. "Damn, these look real." Grace swallowed. Maybe too real. Suddenly, a thump sounded upstairs. All 4 froze. "You heard that, right?" Liam whispered. Before anyone could answer, a cold breeze swept down the stairs, snuffing out the jack-o'-lantern outside and slamming the front door shut. "Okay, no." Grace started, rushing to the door. She pulled the handle. It didn't budge. Not even an inch. "We're trapped," Liam said, panic rising in his voice. Ethan forced a laugh. "There has to be another exit. Come on." But none of them believed that. Not really. 3. The pumpkin mask room. They moved deeper into the mansion, trying doors and peering into shadowed hallways. Everything felt wrong. The house creaked, whispered, and breathed around them. Then they found the room. The door was half open, the darkness inside thick and unnatural. When Ethan pushed it fully open, the group gasped. Dozens of pumpkin masks hung on the walls, hand-carved, wooden, each with a unique, distorted expression. Some smiled too wide. Some screamed. Some had hollow eyes that looked painfully human. A large mirror stood at the far end of the room. Olivia stepped forward slowly, mesmerized. "They look like," she whispered. "Faces." Grace grabbed her arm. "Liv, don't touch anything." But Ethan already had. He lifted a mask carved in the shape of a twisted grin. "Check this out," he said, placing it over his face. The moment the wood touched his skin, the candle inside the mask flared to life, even though no one lit it. "What the hell?" Ethan shouted, dropping it instantly. The mask hit the floor and rolled, its carved grin seeming to widen. Liam backed away. "This house is not normal. We need to find a way out." Olivia looked again at the mirror. Her reflection stared back. But there was something wrong. Her reflection wasn't moving exactly with her. It raised its hand a moment later than she did. Then it smiled. Olivia stumbled back with a scream. The mirror cracked loudly down the center. They ran out of the room. 4. The surgeon's study. The next door they opened led into a dimly lit study. Papers littered the floor, and surgical tools lay rusted on a desk. There were journals stacked everywhere. Liam picked one up and read aloud. "October 31st. The masks work. They seal the soul. But once worn, the body is no longer theirs." Grace's breath caught. This is Dr. Harrow's writing. Ethan found another entry. "To live forever, one must bind their spirit to a vessel, but the vessel must be willingly worn." Olivia suddenly whispered, "Guys, the masks." As if responding, a soft scraping sound echoed behind them. Every pumpkin mask they had seen earlier was now hanging on the wall of the study. Even though they hadn't brought them, Grace's knees weakened. They're following us," a low female voice whispered from the darkness. "One of you will wear it." Olivia screamed. Ethan grabbed everyone and bolted toward the hallway. But when they reached it, the house had changed. The hallway was now endless, distorted, curving unnaturally left and right as if the house was bending. "Which way?" Liam cried. I don't know," Ethan shouted. But the house seemed to know what it wanted. 5. The disappearance. The lights flickered, then went out entirely. In total darkness, the group clung to each other until fingers brushed against Liam's neck. Cold. Thin. Not human. Liam shrieked. "Liam! Liam!" Grace yelled. Olivia turned on her phone, flashlight. Liam was gone. Only his plastic vampire fangs lay on the floor. Olivia shook violently. "We have to get out, Ethan. This place is alive." Ethan swallowed hard. "We keep moving. We don't stop." 6. The basement door. At last, they reached a door they didn't recognize before. It was smaller, wooden, and had deep scratches on it as if someone tried desperately to claw their way out. Grace whispered, "Please tell me we're not going down there." A whisper drifted up from below. "Help, please." Olivia's eyes widened. "Liam?" Without thinking, she pulled the door open. Stale, cold air poured out. A staircase descended into pitch black. The moment they stepped inside, the door slammed shut behind them. They had no choice but to descend. 7. The basement of faces. The basement was huge, far larger than the house should have allowed. The walls were made of stone, and the floor was uneven with cracks. At the center stood a single chair. On the chair sat another pumpkin mask, larger and more detailed than the others. Its eyes glowed faintly from within. Grace whispered, "This must be the first one, the original." Suddenly, a figure stepped into the faint light. Liam, but something was wrong. His head twitched unnaturally, his eyes empty, wide, hollow. A pumpkin mask covered half his face, fused into his skin. "Liam?" Olivia stepped forward. "Oh my God, Liam, what did they do to you?" Liam's mouth opened, but the voice that came out was not his. "One more. Just one more." Then he lunged. 8. The final mask, Olivia screamed. Ethan grabbed her arm and yanked her back. Grace kicked a fallen metal pole toward Ethan, who swung it and struck Liam's shoulder, knocking him aside. But Liam crawled back up, mask glowing brighter now. Grace cried, "He's not Liam anymore. Run!" They sprinted deeper into the basement, but the walls shifted, closing off passages. The house was hurting them. Toward the chair, toward the mask. The voice of Dr. Harrow filled the basement, echoing off every surface. To live forever. A soul for a soul. Someone must wear the mask. The largest pumpkin mask lifted from the chair by itself and floated toward Olivia. Ethan shoved her aside. The mask turned toward him. "No!" Grace screamed, but it was too late. The mask clamped onto Ethan's face. He convulsed, falling to the ground as the wood fused to his skin. His screams distorted into low, hollow echoes. When he stood up, Ethan was gone. Only the mask remained. He turned toward Grace and Olivia. 2 more. 9. Escape. Olivia grabbed Grace's hand. "We're not dying here." They ran, dodging Ethan, mask and Liam mask, as the basement twisted violently around them. Doors opened and shut. Walls extended and shrank. Then Grace saw it, a small wooden door in the corner, half concealed. She pushed Olivia through and followed, slamming it behind them. They found themselves in a narrow passage, at the end a faint orange glow. "The porch!" Olivia cried. "We can get out!" They sprinted toward the glow, the walls rumbling behind them, masks scraping, footsteps pounding. They burst through a final door and tumbled out onto the front steps of Blackthorn House. Cold night air hit their faces. The town's lights were visible again. Hand in hand, they ran down Hollowridge Lane without looking back, tears streaming down their cheeks. They did not stop running, not until they were far from the house. 10. The ending. The police searched Blackthorn House the next morning. They found no masks, no basement, no trace of Ethan or Liam. But carved into the front door was a new message: "Two returned, two remain." And on Halloween night, every year since, 2 new pumpkin lanterns appear on the porch. Their carved faces look eerily familiar. Their flames flicker as if alive. And sometimes, on a cold October wind, you can hear Ethan and Liam whisper, "One more soul."